Hello, everybody. I hope that you're doing well. I have a very, very unique ritual to share with you guys. If you are a scientific occultist like I am, and you're looking for science-based, actual ritualized information that you can be using that will help you, I can guarantee you that this method is going to transform your life and your practices. Let me just start off by saying this isn't based on fiction. It's based on science. Everything I'm going to show you right now are based on things that I have seen in the scientific realm, how the rituals that I'm going to be discussing actually benefits you in the long term. The way we're going to be looking at it is from a Jungian lens that's more scientifically oriented, that's bound within studies. I'm going to quote NCBI studies of why specific forms of the ritual is more helpful in terms of psychology. So none of this is just plain poppycock. None of this is based on just fiction. Everything that I'm doing, I'm going to just be discussing with you, is based on actual science. Let me just discuss the ritual for you so you can do it and you can actually mimic it. I found this to be the most powerful way of doing my transcendental rituals. So what we're doing tonight is it's a blend of Sufi trance, shadow work, and touch of neuroplasticity. When you spin, for instance, like the Sufis do, something strange happens. The left hemisphere, the logical one, the one that names organizer, starts quiet. And what you would need is, you would notice that the right hemisphere is the creative symbolism side of yourself starts to kind of take over. And you start to see the projections in front of you directly. You can deal with them. You stop narrating your life and live within inside it. The first part of the ritual is you sit down, you stand tall, your choice. If you've got a candle, you can light it. As many candles as you want. You can draw a circle on the ground. You can do whatever you want, prop-wise that you would. Don't do too much, but don't do too little either. If not, you can just use your imagination. So we know by chaos magic, for instance, it's very important. Your intent is everything. So start with the intent that you want to go into trance, and just simply close your eyes and simply just be there. So above your head, now imagine a yoke of light, not blinding, just a soft white light that is stroking your whole and caressing your whole body. This is the divine presence, so you want to reach out your hands to the divine presence up top, and you want to ask your guiding spirits, you want to ask the divine presence, the great invisible spirit, to just come down and to bless and to nourish your body and to emblemize your body with this white light. You essentially want to imagine this white light coming down from the top, through your body and enrooting you to the earth. If you have anything to submit to it, you want to submit all the demonic forces and all the negative energies, and you want to feel that energy spiraling down into your body, into your chest, into your spine, into your gut area. The next part of it is calling the demons. So now that you have the healing energy all around you, nothing can really get into the specific yoke, the circle. By the way, if you want to draw a circle on the floor, you can do it. Just a circle is all right. If you have a sigil or anything that you want to use, feel free to do it. Everything that we're doing is very creative and very rich in symbolism. So the next part of it is you want to sit within the circle and you want to imagine whatever is inside the circle is part of the white light. So the white light reaches all to the corners of just the circle. So now that you are enveloped inside this white light, everything in the circle is basically the white light. So you're going to see the circle being like a cylinder going up top and all the way down, anchoring itself in the floor, and with you embedded within the specific circle of white light, right? So outside of the circle is essentially all the bad stuff, all the demons. It's quite important, however, that conceptually it's your soul inside the circle. So your body is elsewhere. It's your soul being inside the circle. You're now your soul, and you imagine yourself being inside the circle of absolute fluorescent light, and outside of it is essentially going to be your demons. So you're going to be calling forth the demons outside of you, and they're not going to come inside the circle, but they're going to stay outside. And what's going to happen then is you're going to reach out and you're going to dissolve these demons. So you're going to reach out to them, you're going to speak to them, you're going to confront, you're going to dissolve them, and they're going to dissolve into thin air. And what you'll notice, they'll essentially mount upwards because they have a low density now. So when they evaporate, they're now heavy, they've got a low vibration, and they're dropping down. But what you want to be doing is you want to dissolve them. The way you're going to do it is you're going to almost like water evaporating, and therefore it rises almost like helium, right? So you can think of it as if it being helium. Imagine that the demons become like helium, like the helium gas. The next part of my specific ritual is mantras. I use a lot of mantra. I use a lot of singing. I just sing if I really want to sing, if there's nobody else. If there's nobody home, I just like to sing, or I like to sing a specific mantra that makes me feel calm, usually with a lot of L's and a lot of M sounds. So I like to incorporate like Lala or mala or shala or shalala or something like that in my specific ritual. That's a nice chant. It also feels extremely pleasant and peaceful. So the L's and the M sounds. The next part of it is I would just get up and start spinning. We talked about Sufi spinning just before, so I would just get up and I would start spinning around the 10 or 20 times, just so I get a bit disorientated, and then I find it much easier for me personally. You can, depending on how you find it, but you will find that I find that when I start spinning, the right brain hemisphere gets triggered, and it's like the logical left brain hemisphere gets silent, and all the projections from my ego gets basically comes up and resurfaces, and I can deal with it much better. So when I start spinning, I feel it much easier to work with stuff, and concepts arise and they surface or resurface in my mind much more readily. It gives me a bit of a tilt to better focus when I'm doing that. So depending on how it works for you, you can do the Sufi spinning. I don't know if anybody really talks about Sufi spinning and the rituals, but I would say you have to try and do it. Be as creative as possible. We think about it, the way I think about it is I get rid of bad karma in my life. So I do these rituals to choke bad karma and to work with the demonic forces around me in such a way where I don't fear them anymore, but I'm the stronger one. I'm essentially having the stronghold over these forces as opposed to them having the stronghold over me. And I call them out directly. So it's not just a demonic name with like Azazel or anything like that, but you use the names that are specific to you and to your life. Anything can be a demon, but you have to call them out and you have to physically work with them, confront them directly, and then make them just disappear. So the way you want to do it is you want to imagine your divine light being always at the center of your life. And throughout your day, you will notice that you will just feel lighter, you will just feel better about yourself. And I really encourage you guys to try this ritual. Be creative again, try to spice it up with props, whatever you want. But it's a very basic understanding of a good magical practice you can use whenever. I'm going to be releasing, my next video is going to be about the Devil's Bible. The Devil's Bible is not about the devil, actually. The Devil's Bible is actually a text that was written by a Christian.